Welcome to Subramani. The Adani Hindenburg saga is very difficult to understand unless you understand what is short selling and why short selling is a very important part in the free market, right? So normally when you are bullish about a stock, you go and buy the share, right? You suppose you are very bullish today about Sun Pharma. And it is available at 960, you think it's going to reach 1200 or something like that, or you're bullish about Reliance at 2400 and odd, and you think it should reach a price of 2700 in the next 2-3 months, or you think it should reach a price of 5000 in the next 3-4 years. Then you go and buy Sun Pharma or Reliance and you go long. This is called going long, that you have bought the share, you're holding a position, and when the price goes up, you sell. This is normally how 99% of the people, or maybe 98% of the people, approach the market. However, there are some people who look for opportunities, saying if everybody is buying, surely there is some share which is overvalued, which I will be able to sell, and when the price falls, I will be able to buy it back and make money. So it's the same thing, right? Buying low and selling high. Only thing is they do it in reverse. They first sell high and then they buy low. Is it very difficult to do? Yes, it is very difficult to do. Therefore, lesser number of people do it. Secondly, if I'm a research person, it is easy for me to come out with a report saying buy Sun Pharma at 930, then buy Sun Pharma at 1000, then buy for Sun Pharma at 1200. It is easy to create many buy reports. It's very difficult to create more than one sell report. So if I have given a call that sell Biocon at 381, very difficult for me to then say buy Biocon at 360. So I don't. So I keep giving sell calls, and very few shares fall in a very regular way and for very long periods of time. Why did I say Biocon? Because I had shares of Biocon which I sold at 380 or 385 almost a year ago, and then it has been substantially falling to, it is something like 225 the day I am recording this. Did I benefit by the fall? Yes, I benefited by the fall. If I were braver, what could have I done? I could have gone to the market, I could have borrowed say 1000 shares of Biocon at 381 from some other person, some mutual fund or somebody willing to lend, and then sold that also, and today bought it back at 225 and made some 160 rupees. So even though I was confident that I could make money by selling Biocon, which I made, because but I was already holding say X number of shares in Biocon. Now I could have, if I had really had the guts, I could have gone and borrowed the shares from somebody and sold and made an extra amount of money. I normally don't do that. I don't have the guts to do it. Why don't I have the guts to do it? Simply because there is no downside in going short. Now suppose I bought 1000 Biocon at 385. The maximum that I can lose in that transaction is 3,85,000, assuming the share goes to zero. Right? So okay, at 200 I cut loss and said okay, I don't want to hold on to this share. How much do I lose? I lose 185 into 1000, which is 1,85,000. But let us take a worst case scenario. I go short on Biocon at 385, and then instead of coming down to 220, it goes up to say 700 or 800, and then I am forced to cover at that situation. My broker tells me bahut ho gaya, you have to now cut position. So I cut position at 700. So how much do I lose? I lose about 315 rupees per share into 1000 shares, about 3 lakhs, right? So now take a worst case scenario that I don't get a chance to cover it at all and it reaches a price of 3,850, right? So it goes up 10x. And till then I don't get a chance for whatever reasons. How much do I lose? I lose 3,500 rupees per share, and that into 1,000 is 35 lakhs. So technically speaking, when you go short, you do not know how much you can lose. So that is a very high risk game that people play. How do you look for shares to go short? And now when you understand this, you will know why Adani was a sitting duck. When one company's PE is very high, the chances are that somebody will find some reason to go short, which reminds us of the old saying that every balloon will find its needle, right? So every bubble, when it becomes too big, there will be somebody to needle it and bring it to zero. So that is what happened in case of Adani. The PEs at 600 and 500 or 400 were too attractive for somebody to miss the opportunity. Was it easy for people to find that opportunity? Not for the common man, but somebody like Hindenburg, who is well funded, was able to do it. What were the problems because of which Adani, it was easy to short Adani? First, share prices were too high. The PE was too high. So somebody knew that they could go short and make money. So when a report like Hindenburg came, everybody who had shares just went sold and bought it back and made money. So somebody like me who did not have shares of Adani, didn't know what to do, but I bought the shares when it had come down and I sold it when it went up. And I was able to buy it back again. So I bought, I sold, and when it came down again, and I bought again, right? So because when something like this happens, the price fluctuates. It does not just go down or just go up. It fluctuates. So I could make money. If I had guts, I could have borrowed some shares of Adani Enterprises or something from somewhere and sold it. Was that easy? No, that was not easy, because this was a very closely held share. Now, if you have a very closely held share, you should know how to manipulate the share. You have to ensure that the PE is high. The PE attracts attention, but you have to make sure that it is not available in futures and options. You should make sure that because it's not available in future and option, it is not part of the index. The minute you become part of the index, you attract attention. So typically the PE of Adani Group was too high, and it was attracting attention simply because everybody said this is too much and too fast. So somebody like Hindenburg found it that, okay, here is a share on which I should go short, and when he went short, the whole world was willing to go short with him. Therefore, everybody who went short made money. Are there any Indian players involved in this? Of course there are. Is it illegal? No. Is it immoral? No. If it is as legal and as moral as buying a share at 10 rupees and selling at 500, you might as well sell the share at 500 and buy it back at 10 or whatever price you think it will reach, right? So perfectly right. High stakes, high investment, you need somebody to back it. If I were to identify an X chalk tomorrow and say, oh, this is a good share to go short, I need somebody who will fund it. I need somebody who will actually do the transaction and share the gains with me, and I have to be right. And I have to be right about very many things. I have to be right about the price. I should know that Biocon at 385 was fully priced, and maybe it was fully priced actually at 480. I identified it only at 380. And then I should be right about the direction and for a long period of time. Now suppose Biocon had gone from 380 to 350 and gone back to 380, then I would have missed the bus of not being able to cover it. At what stage should I cover it? Well, in case of Biocon, since I did not have to give shares back, I have not yet bought it back at 225, so maybe sometime I will buy it. This is not a piece of advice. I'm just saying what action I took and why I have not closed the deal yet. If it was an open position in the market, I would have had to cover it at some stage, because my broker would have asked me to cover it, or my lender would have asked me to cover it, right? So this is how short selling works. Short selling is legitimate, it is good for the market, it keeps the prices under check. So Adani attracted attention with his PE. He had zero knowledge, or he had very poor advice on how, when you want to hold the PE so high, you should be able to keep it out of F&O, you should be able to keep it out of public's attention. You should make sure that the shares are very nicely held by about 50 or 100 very rich people who will never sell in the market, not just you and your family, but a small group of 40-50 people. Actually, there is a share like this today in Indian market. I don't wish to name it, because I'm sure somebody will find a way to prick that balloon too. but that balloon is currently managed very well by the owners who know the markets extremely well. So that is not available in F&O, that is not likely to be available because it's not in F&O, it is not likely to be in the index, so it is not going to be easy to short it, and the shares are very closely held by a bunch of rich people. Will you be able to ever spot that company? Yes, surely. Will you have the guts to go short on them? You need guts, you need guts, because one short seller named Manu Manek was taken to the cleaners by Dhirubhai, and George Soros took the Bank of England to the cleaners by, or rather he made a lot of money by going short. So going short requires lot of guts, lot of knowledge, lot of ability to get the timing right. You could buy a share at you could sell, suppose I had sold Biocon at 385 and my broker had forced me to cover it at 485, and then it had gone to 225, I wouldn't have benefited, I would have actually lost money. So getting the timing right, getting for how much it will fall right, getting everything right is very difficult, hence not too many people do it. Is it legal? Yes. Was Adani ill-advised in his capital market moves? Yes. So he became a sitting duck for somebody like Hindenburg to go short. He couldn't have gone short in, say, Reliance or SBI or HDFC, which are widely held. He would have been taken to the cleaners. So you need to find your target right. Thank you.